Hello again, welcome back to day 2 of our road tripping and camping in Grand Teton and Yellowstone. We had so many viewpoints to cover today, but the clouds had another plan. We woke up to a rainy day with thick clouds covering the Tetons, and honestly, I thought our day was ruined. We had everything planned from sunrise to sunset, locations picked out, and a whole itinerary built around seeing the Tetons at their best. So instead of forcing our plans, we decided to do something completely different. But first, we had to shift our bed into a car. And while I do that, let me answer some of the questions I got in my DMs about camping in a car. First of all, how do you book a campsite? The website we always visit or suggest is recreation.gov. Most of the campsites we've paid ranged about $30 to $150 a night, depending on the location and if there's an EV charging available. Let's talk about one thing I get asked the most. What about the washroom or shower situation when you camp? Every time we book a campsite, we check for the reviews on Google Maps to see if there is someone who will post about conditions, if it's well maintained, or sometimes I even find pictures, so you'll get the idea. And pro tip, always carry your flip-flops. This campsite that we're currently staying at had token-based showers and laundry facilities. The showers were very neat, very spacious and well maintained, maybe one of the best ones in our trips. And after that much needed shower, we headed to Jackson Hole to have some breakfast and head back to the Tetons. But as you can see, the weather was too gloomy to even get a peek of the Tetons. It was kind of like a peekaboo situation. The clouds sometimes showed a little peek of the Teton where we got excited, stopped for a bit to click pictures, and within a minute it started to rain again. We picked a Thai place that was closed and then a Mexican restaurant that wasn't vegetarian friendly, so third time's the charm. We found another Mexican place and we had our brunch. If you're visiting Grand Teton, chances are you'll be hearing people talk about Jackson Hole, but I didn't really understand the hype until I saw it for myself. The town feels like something straight out of a western movie. You'll find wooden boardwalks, old west style buildings, mountain views in every direction, and some of the cutest shops and cafes. It's also one of the main getaways to Grand Teton and Yellowstone, so almost everyone passes through here at some point. We clicked some pictures here, and thankfully while we were enjoying Jackson Hole, the weather started to change. The clouds began breaking apart and suddenly we had a chance to see some of the places we'd been hoping to visit. Our first stop was Albright View Turnout. It was close to the airport, so you'll see planes coming in and out most of the times with Tetons at the background, and the pictures turned out to be a highlight. Our next stop was Schwabacher Landing. This is one of the most photographed spots in Grand Teton National Park, and once you get there, it's easy to understand why. On a calm day, the water reflects the entire Teton range almost perfectly, creating that iconic mirror image you've probably seen on postcards or Instagram. Although it was cloudy, the views were still so incredible. I think it was probably for the best that the day was cloudy, because the pictures looked pretty with clouds around the Tetons like a blanket. We took this trail that was less than 0.5 miles. I think the views were great at the entrance of the parking lot compared to what is at the end. The water that you see is from the Snake River. The sides were filled with dandelions and the place really looked magical. The trail was really great, but if you want to skip for the views, I think the entrance was really iconic. Next, we headed to Snake River Overlook. This viewpoint became famous after the legendary photographer Ansel Adams photographed the Tetons here in 1940s. Standing here and looking at the river winding through the valley with mountains behind it, you can immediately understand why this place became so iconic. Our next plan was to take the coaster at Snoking Mountain in Jackson Hole, but unfortunately they were closed for the day, so if you're planning here, I hope you book in advance and add it to your itinerary. Later we quickly charged our car and there was a Whole Foods store in front of the charging station, and guess what we found? Some dal, samosa, chole and lamb curry, and there were so many other Indian dishes. I was genuinely happy to see so many varieties. We were excited, but it didn't taste that great. I'd give it a 1 by 10 for the varieties though, but I would not recommend taking them. In this trip, we decided not to cook because the places we had to cover were too many and it would be pretty late by the time we reached our campsite every day, so we just bought our meals. Before we are headed to our campsite, we wanted to cover some of the other spots, so we took the Teton Point road. Please take this route when you're here. I'll let the views do the talking, but they were so breathtaking. One thing I really love about Grand Teton is that some of the best views require almost no hiking at all. You can simply pull over, step out of your car, and be greeted with views that look so unreal. This turn for the Jenny Lake was the highlight of our Grand Teton road trip. I loved every single bit of it. I had my phone, camera, and DJI running throughout this route, so please enjoy this view. This is Cathedral Group Turnout. This viewpoint is known for showcasing some of the tallest and most dramatic peaks in the park, including Grand Teton itself. If you're trying to photograph the mountains, this is definitely one of the stops you should not miss. The drive to Jenny Lake is one way. You'll see the road split between vehicles and bike lanes only. The parking lot was empty when we were there, but on a sunny day it will be impossible to find a spot because the lot isn't that big. On the way to Jenny Lake, we spotted many deers and we were very excited to spot some wildlife in this trip. If you only have time for one spot in Grand Teton, many people will tell you to visit Jenny Lake. The water is crystal clear, the mountains rise directly behind it, and there are many trails, boat rides, and viewpoints all over the lake. It's one of the most popular places in the entire park for a reason. Unfortunately, our hopes for the sunset did not work out. The clouds covered the Teton, so we couldn't see that orange glow over them. And on our way to the campsite, we spotted this cute deer. We quickly took a shower and parked our car at our campsite. This campsite didn't have an electric outlet, but the spot was pretty quiet and cozy. And we had some dinner watching the clouds take the light away. And that's how we spent our anniversary. I would always give up doing something fancy to celebrating it this way. And as the temperature dropped, we transformed our Tesla into a bed once again. If there are two things I would recommend investing while camping is a good mattress. The one we took is from a brand called Horizon. It was a bit expensive, but it was a one-time investment and it was really comfortable. Back when we used to camp in tent, we used the same mattress on a rocky site and it was still comfortable. The second thing that I would recommend is a set of blinds for your windows. And somehow, after a day that started with disappointment, we ended it with watching stars through the roof of the car. That's one thing we've learned from road trips like this, that not every day goes according to the plan, but we end up making the best out of it somehow. Tomorrow is probably the day I'll talk about for years to come. We'll be taking a trail that looked exciting when we planned it, but turned out much of more than an adventure than we expected. So let's see how that goes, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and bye.